What's up, everybody? Showtime Shawn Porter here, and I am actually in Sheffield, England, with my man Ash. You guys should know the CEO of this beautiful game we have called Undisputed. And right now we're at the Steel City Interactive Studios, and we want to get right to it, man. I told you off air. The first thing I'm gonna ask you, where you been? We ain't heard nothing from you. We ain't heard nothing from the creators. What's going on with this game? There's been an uproar, and I'm sure you're well aware of it. And I think the main thing that the audience needs to know is, number one, that you've seen, you've heard. Furthermore, you're paying attention and you're listening and you're working on it. So where you been?
So, first of all, great to have you here,
Yeah,
Sean.
man.
Absolute honor having a legend in our studio.
Thank you.
And look, I think since we launched in October, it's been a bit of a whirlwind. We had amazing number of players, enjoying Undisputed, and I think us as an independent studio, I'm not going to say we were overwhelmed and everything got on top, but it was an incredible response that we had.
Yeah.
And I think over the last few months, we've kind of taken stock of everything that's happening out there and reprioritized some of the things that we need to work on.
Mm-hmm.
So, like everything the fans have been saying, we've essentially knuckled down and really kind of honed in on what those important issues are. Because here's, I guess, one of the challenges for us as a studio. We've been developing, Undisputed for a little while now, and even with the early access, with the feedback we had there, it was still a very small, population in terms of testing out various things in the game. And even us as a studio, in terms of finding bugs, finding issues. Again, you're talking whether it's dozens of players, or if we do like a small scale test where it's a couple of hundred players.
Mm-hmm.
And, now that this is out there in the open, you change that a few hundred, or even from early access with the thousands that we had, we're at like almost 1.4 million now,
Mm-hmm.
which is in itself a pretty insane number for an indie studio. So that expands the number of issues players are going to find for us, right? So some of those have been pretty difficult for us to either replicate and even resolve. The last few months has been a case of really prioritizing what our main issues are.
I'm gonna tell you what, though. I'm gonna shake your hand, and I'm gonna say thank you, and I'm also gonna say congratulations. And with that being said, there's another episode we're gonna put on my platform. This one's gonna be a little bit more about the game, for you guys, for the audience, for the players, and things of that nature. But the reason why I'm shaking your hand, and the reason why I'm telling you thank you, is because you brought something to the world that the boxing world, the boxing community, the gaming community hasn't had in over 2 decades. You brought a boxing game to life. So what I don't want to do is I don't want to sit here like you're in a hot seat. I don't want to sit here like you produced shit, because you didn't produce shit. The fact that you produced something at all, to me, is a big thing. And like I said, another episode, we're going to get into all of that, because I think it's a really amazing story that people should know. You guys know that story. You have more respect for this man. You have more understanding of everything that's going on. All that being said, real quick, what I do want to know is, you launched, I think it was October 6th, if I'm not mistaken, October 12th. What was that feeling like when you made that official launch?
So first of all, appreciate you saying that. It means a lot, Sean.
You hear everything that's been going on, all that kind of stuff. It pulls away from, it's almost like, it's like a fighter that wins a match but won a split decision. I got some things wrong, but I still got the job done. You know what I mean? Like, look forward to the next fight, because the next fight's gonna be much better. So I feel like I know where you're at.
No, look, I do appreciate you saying that, Sean. And look, I think the build up to October 12th, was a pretty big deal for us, because we've been doing this for, like, 2020. I started the studio with my brothers, right? And that journey in terms of bringing the community along with us and trying to meet those expectations, and that's like we've set pretty high expectations for ourselves, because we've been saying, hey, this is going to be like one of the most technically advanced boxing games ever, right? So, like, if we say that, we have to back that up with what we deliver. So there's obviously an element of like, okay, this is going to go out to the mainstream, the mass, not just hardcore boxing fans, but your casual boxing fans as well. And that's the thing in terms of making sure we're pleasing everybody. And, we found this even with our early access updates, where we put out an update and like, half the community might be like, this is amazing. And all of a sudden, the other half that were enjoying it before were like, you've made a few things worse. So, yeah, October 12th, it was a mixture of like, how is this going to be received? But at the same time, like we as a studio, I think we felt a sense of, I guess, pride in what we've been able to accomplish.
Of course.
Because there's a reason why, a licensed boxing game, hasn't been done in like 12, 13 years because of the difficulty and the complexities around that. So I think, yeah, it was a period of like celebration for us. But at the same time, we kind of thought, okay, it's almost like right now it's gotten real.
Yeah.
Like, now we've really got to kind of hone in on these issues because, like, yeah, it's no longer, a few people that are being affected now. It's like, it could potentially be way more than that. So, yeah, it was a period of, I think, many things, celebration, reflection, and, setting us up for the years to come,
Since the launch, has been about 9 updates, about 9.
So since our early access launch,
Yeah.
we've done around 9 updates, as in nine major updates. And in between that, we've been putting out little fixes here and there.
Yeah.
And we do have more updates obviously coming up as well in terms of some of the main things that players have been asking for. And some of the things that we need to fix as well.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that's some of the stuff we're definitely going to get into. I guess right now, main thing is, do you have an ETA for when those updates are going to start to be initiated?
So from a cadence perspective, for us, it's just about making sure that they are regular, but not like one every 6 months, things like that, right? So we are right now finalizing our next update in terms of going through submissions and making sure that gets approved and it goes out for players to see. So we're not a million miles away from that. But yeah, it'll be coming out soon.
Good. I am involved with the game for various reasons. Obviously, me being a world champion boxer validates me to be in the game. Love seeing myself on TV as a character, but I do have a great producer who is a gaming guy, stays on the games, and he's like, man, you gotta ask this guy about some of these updates. People been waiting on them. Let's kind of go through a little bit of the list. Can we talk about the block stamina?
Yeah, sure. So right now, we've made some adjustments in terms of how that works, where at the moment in the game, you throw a punch, and the thing is, like, we want to reduce spamming, people just throwing punches all the time. So if you miss a punch in Undisputed, you actually use more stamina. And right now, that's also the same if your punch is blocked.
Okay.
So what we've done is we've reduced that. So if you throw a punch and it's blocked by the opponent, you're not going to waste as much stamina as if you completely missed, because we feel that's too punishing. So yeah, that should kind of bring the balance back a little bit. So
that's good.
Yeah.
I had a problem with that. I'm
What, you were spamming punches?
I'm not a gamer, right? So I'm just throwing. I got no stamina whatsoever. But the punches and it's funny because that's how the game works. It's worse to miss a punch than it is to actually hit the gloves or hit the, obviously hit the body or something like that. So I mean, you're right in line with what is realistic. Yeah, what actually happens. The robes. I didn't even recognize that I wasn't wearing a robe coming to the ring, but I guess that's a big deal to y'all. What's the deal with the robes?
So robes, we've been working on robes for a while. And again, just the technicalities of making it work for the fighters has been a challenge for us. But you have 6'9" Tyson Fury compared to somebody who's like 5'3", and making everything look perfect, because we've set a pretty high bar as far as the visuals go. So delighted to say we've got robes coming in for marquee fighters in the game. So the likes of Muhammad Ali, Tyson Fury, Canelo, they'll be coming out with robes.
From a creative standpoint, it sounds like that's just the technicalities of making it is just kind of tedious and time consuming?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely time consuming because, like, again, we've not made this how I guess most studios make fighting games, where we've scanned the entire bodies of our fighters.
Yeah.
Like most combat games, in fact, every combat game, they only scan the head, right? And then the artists, they sculpt the bodies and they make them all uniform.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm not going to say it's very easy because
My
game
body
development...
looks just like me. Like, I'm not just like my shoulders. I see my body when I look at the video game. So it makes sense.
And this is the thing, like, from the outside, even me thinking about it, it's like, well, how difficult can robes be?
Yeah.
And us as an indie studio doing this for the first time, we have made things harder for ourselves by going down the hard route because we didn't want to take shortcuts, right? So the fact that, every fighter's body is unique to exactly how they were scanned, I didn't want to cut any corners. So, but by doing that, we've made things harder, like creating robes for everybody.
Yeah.
So, we've got over those hurdles, taken longer than I would have liked, but delighted to say marquee fighters for now will have robes, and then we'll be looking to expand that out later on down the line.
The marquees, okay? Now everybody's marquee. I hope I make the cut. The online play, I think, is probably the most crucial component to where everybody's either let down or, excited about this game. Let's talk about the online play.
Yeah, so look, the online play for Undisputed, it has been pretty much our number one priority for some time now, even during early access. And it's been a real challenge for us in making sure that we're improving it. And yeah, look, we're still looking at how we can improve our online play. But again, I guess going back to what I said about how we've done the ropes, like even with the game, generally when you're making a multiplayer game or even a combat game with two players, you kind of design and you implement everything to make online work very, very seamlessly and very kind of effectively. But for us, we kind of made things hard for ourselves by making the offline play so intricate and the number of moves that are available, the kind of punches that we throw, the physics system that we've got. We did all that. And then it's made, it has made the online play more difficult for us to kind of perfect. So that is still an ongoing process for us. Still a very important topic that we know we're making progress towards fixing.
I heard people be getting robbed in the game.
I mean, listen, we said we're going to make a realistic boxing game, right? So
there it is. When I read it, I was like, you just get robbed. That's all that happens,
But no, joking aside, things like how scorecards are being calculated. Even that in itself, like we've tried a few different ways of doing that, right? Where like a jab is going to get you like maybe a point, or maybe a hook's going to get you a couple of points, a power shot's going to get you 3 points, and then in the background, the judges kind of crunch all these numbers, and then they give you a score at the end of the round. And then there's also things like, dodging a punch gets you a point, blocking successfully. So putting all these things into account, we thought it makes sense, but then, like in boxing, that doesn't always translate into what you're actually seeing.
Right.
Where we've put a change in and we're thinking, how's the judge scored that round? So yeah, I think the judges in Undisputed, obviously it's all AI driven, right? So for us, it's just about finding that right balance, that people feel like they haven't been robbed, or the 50-50s can kind of go either way. That's the sweet spot we want to hit.
Damn. Y'all got a job on your hands. I think I got a couple more for you and we can get out of here. The online multi-queue. Can we talk about the online multi-queue?
So online multi-queue is something that players have been asking for a while. So like, for example, let's say if you want to fight in the welterweight division and there's no one in your area that's kind of, people are searching for heavyweights, for example. So what the online multi-queue is, you can select, for example, a heavyweight. So you pick your heavyweight fighter that you want, you pick your welterweight, for example, and then you just say you want to pick a lightweight. So you can have like three fighters that you select, and then it puts you into a queue, and then whichever kind of fighter you match with, or whichever weight class you match with, it puts you into a fight.
Sweet. Let's talk about the character creator that we got online.
So this is probably one of our biggest kind of requested features.
Okay.
We're still in I guess the early phases of getting this in, because like one of the beauties about Undisputed is the custom character creator, where people are creating themselves or creating whoever they want to create, and kind of seeing people go wild with that, or even playing in their career with their own custom character. Now, people want to use those characters online against other players. So that is definitely high on our priority list. We are working towards that in terms of, having that brought in as a feature down the line.
Okay. Let's talk about the custom career mode roster.
Okay. This has been a big feature that players have been asking for. And again, part of the realism with Undisputed is the amazing roster that we have.
Yeah.
So let's say, you want to create a welterweight fighter, start your career as a welterweight, but you want it in the current era, right? So you can start your career and you can include the likes of Canelo and Terence Crawford and yourself, and have all the fighters that we've got in the game. You can essentially pick and choose who you want to have featured in your own career.
Gotcha. That all sounds good to me. Did I miss anything? Anything else?
So we've got a couple of more things coming in. So your custom career mode fighter, you'll be able to customize things like shorts, gloves, boots, that kind of stuff. Yeah. So there's more customization options coming into there. Nice. And also for your fighter as well, as in your regular fighters in the licensed roster that we've got. There'll be more customization options in there as well. So that's coming down the line. And also there's things like there'll be more free DLC coming down the line. Again, just in terms of more outfits, more choices in terms of your fighter's attire. Yeah. That's coming through. And like I know, another thing that players have been asking about are our fighters. Like, who else have we got coming into the roster? Mm-hmm. So that is, ever expanding, ever growing really. So we've got a large number of fighters still left to put into Undisputed. Right. Every update that we put out, more fighters will be coming out. But we'll also be bringing out free fighters as well. So we're excited. For when those free fighters are dropped. So we've got a lot of updates coming.
Yeah. I want to make sure I note this, and I know, go back and watch. You've said quite a bit during this interview. This is what players have been asking for. This is what players have been saying. And I just want to note that you, sir, along with probably everybody in this building, has been paying attention to the feedback, has been trying diligently to make things work, become better, make the game better. And I just want to make sure that, upon us having this first interview that you've done now in a couple of months now, just want to make sure that everybody knows, like, this is not, we're closing our eyes to everything that's going on and we're bringing in the dough. You guys are really trying to make this thing well worth everybody's, not only their purchase, but their time and energy to play in the game. Yeah,
for sure. I mean, look, I think for us, we're massively grateful for everyone in our community that's, gone out and bought the game and played the game as well. And, the numbers that we've been seeing, players like enjoying the game, have been, mind-blowing, frankly, for us. Nice. Like we still have, like, our latest stats we've got, we have like 125,000 people playing our game every single day.
Beautiful.
And that for not only an indie studio, but a sports title as well.
127,000.
Yeah, 125K every day.
Time wasters out there.
So when we see that, that's right, it gives us a huge amount of confidence in what we've built. Mm-hmm. It kind of validates what we've built as well. Mm-hmm. That players are enjoying and loving the game. All of that is just great to see. And the main thing for me always with Undisputed was, like, this was the foundation. Yeah. Right. We're setting the foundations for a franchise that's going to stay around for a long, long time. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And we have to build on something solid. And whilst we know the game, isn't perfect, there's room for us to improve. But that for us is what a foundation is, right? Something to build from. Mm-hmm. And the relationships that we've built with fighters, like yourself. Yeah. Everyone's excited about
priceless.
what the future holds for Undisputed, and yeah, we're here for years to come.
Yeah. Well, listen, Ash, thank you for sitting down, taking some time with me, and you guys stay tuned. Undisputed, future looks bright.